For the last 40 years, the offshore industry has supported whole communities across Scotland. But as we move towards net zero, things have to change. Skills, knowledge and experience built the success of the oil and gas industry, and they'll be needed again. In the coming years, jobs in cleaner, greener energies are set to make up more than half the offshore sector. But that poses a challenge. Tens of thousands of people still work in traditional oil and gas. Some will have to transfer their skills to the renewables revolution, and quickly.
It almost feels like everyone's burying their heads in the sand a little bit and just carry on as normal until normal's no longer an option.
Those that depend on the North Sea worry they will suffer the same fate as former mining towns. Gavin Burnett has been working offshore for 10 years.
As we see more and more of a push towards the green sector, we know it has to come. Everyone wants the same things. Everyone wants a planet to live on. Everyone wants to shift away from it. It is the thing to do. But we also need to make sure that no one's left behind in the transition.
So do you feel like you've been left behind?
At the moment, yeah. There's very little being done to help retrain or any active incentives to move out of the industry. I mean, it's terrifying.
Industry leaders are working to create a clear pathway for oil and gas workers to transition into renewables. They've created a skills passport, but it's not been released yet, and it's already been delayed twice.
The qualifications landscape across the energy sector and industry at large is quite fragmented and can be quite difficult to follow. So the Skills Passport aims to present that in a much more linear fashion and demonstrate to somebody who is, say, an electrical maintenance technician working in oil and gas and they want to transition across into offshore wind, how exactly they can do that, what they're missing and how they can get it.
One of the world's biggest oil and gas companies, BP, say they're investing heavily in renewables to focus on a greener future. But they have faced criticism from campaigners calling their efforts greenwashing. Caroline White spent 20 years working on offshore developments for BP. Now she's transitioned over to help the oil giant build their first offshore wind farm.
I was working already in projects, and when we had the opportunity to move into offshore wind, I just saw that as what a fantastic opportunity to be able to take the best of what we've done in projects into offshore wind whilst learning from others. A whole new technology, new markets and everything.
Jobs are expected to fit into several different types of roles. Yang Hoi Yang works in oil and gas, but he's never been offshore. He uses skills in coding to monitor rigs, something he could do in a number of industries.
We are working with data, and I believe the renewable energy, they also produce a large amount of data every day, and they also need to find valuable insight from their data. So that's how we can contribute on the renewable industry as well.
But there are concerns over a lack of jobs currently on offer in the renewables sector. Jessica Tait came to Aberdeen to study for a master's in renewable energy. Since graduating, she says there's been a lack of opportunity.
There's still a lot to be done to create jobs. I recently read an article that mentioned about 430,000 jobs are going to be created, and I think we've come a long way with the energy transition that we need to start seeing these jobs. We see them, but it's a bit of a struggle finding the jobs.
And that's the main question on current oil and gas workers' minds. Do you feel like there's enough job opportunities?
In the green sector? No, there's certainly not to cover the current workforce in the oil industry.
So there's one thing all sides can agree on. Scotland must do more to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. But making sure thousands of people aren't left behind is essential. Kirstin Tait, STV News.